So now I'd like to thank you for that wonderful introduction. It's the best one I've had today. And talk a little bit, I think much of my slide material restates what has been said by others in terms of the different levers that government can pull in order to stimulate the angel market. And we've talked about the general business environment, and just a few moments ago it was mentioned that in the local context some work needs to be done in terms of minority protection and the legal structure, which I think is vitally important. Governments are fairly comfortable with supporting entrepreneurs, what we would call the demand side for the money, investor-ready entrepreneurial training, and I see that that is happening here. Governments are often less happy or comfortable with the idea of actually using public money to train or promote or support business angels, because they feel that they're using public money to make rich people richer. My experience is quite the opposite. I think business angeling is one of the best wealth redistribution methods we've invented so far, where rich people voluntarily give their money away to promising poor entrepreneurs. And we've mentioned the taxation system, which can be very effective, but is not always necessary, and co-investment funds. And I think it's really interesting that the World Bank is working here in discussion about potentially having a co-investment fund. We have as you'll see momentarily, a co-investment fund that has developed in Scotland. We've been running it since 2004, and that has been copied and adapted, for example, by New Zealand. But in all of the policies, all of the speakers, I think, have mentioned that you need to take a policy that you can see from other countries and adapt it for your own circumstances. And just in relation to the idea of co-investment funds, I'm from Scotland, as part of the United Kingdom, but within the United Kingdom we actually have three separate types of co-investment funds. One for Scotland, one for Northern Ireland, and one for England. Because each of those markets, even within a country as geographically as small and as developed as it is in terms of angel activity, needs to have three different approaches to meet its own needs. I think we've recognised from other speakers that this is not just a question of getting more cash into businesses. It is very much about investing in the skills and the knowledge, not just of the entrepreneurs, but also of the investors and those trying to support the investors. Because with all due respect to the wealthy people here today who are going to become business angels this afternoon, you don't actually know, as an entrepreneur turned business angel, how to be a business angel. There's a lot of skills you have to learn, and we need to invest in getting those skills over to make the system work well. And we need to invest in the skill base of people trying to help the companies, incubator managers, technology transfer managers, in how to prepare the companies for investment and how the investment process works. But it is an evolutionary approach. You can't simply go and take one person's ideas and drop them into a country. They will change. And we have been working at this in Scotland now for over 20 years. LINC, which is the Scottish National Angel Capital Association, was founded in 1993, and we think it's the oldest angel capital association in the world. And we've developed and changed the ways that we have built our angels and changed policy as it's developed. So the first stage is build capacity and knowledge, and the second stage is help the angels to do more and more deals, as we just heard, through syndication and group work. But does government intervention actually work? So I'm going to use Scotland as an example, because I think we are in a fairly unique position to show how different policies can operate. Within the United Kingdom, we operate the same tax system in Scotland and England, and we operate the same legal and financial law throughout Scotland and in England. But we have a devolved local government that has done separate policies to promote angel activity just in Scotland and compared to England. And specifically, they have funded the development of the angels themselves, and they've put a co-investment fund in place. And the result is that since 1996, when we've really started this process and started measuring it, we've gone from 2 angel groups and about €3 million of investing to a UK government estimate of about 61 million of angel investing. Now that's in a country with a population of just over 5 million people. Really importantly though, the numbers from the UK government suggest that of the visible business angel activity that they can measure in the United Kingdom, 25% of it is happening in Scotland, and yet we only have 8% of the population. The differences between Scotland and England are primarily the way the angels have been organised and supported in angel groups, using government money to encourage them to come together and network and invest together, and the availability of a co-investment fund to give the angels more firepower and to help coordinate and professionalise the angels. If you want access to the co-investment fund in Scotland, you need to show that you are acting in a professional manner and are an angel worth backing by the government. The co-investment fund under its present format came into existence in 2004, and I think the graph shows a fairly dramatic increase in angel activity. That's the number of deals done each year. When the co-investment came in, the number of angel deals radically increased. So I think it demonstrates the value and the power of appropriate government intervention in getting this market working. And finally, just a few issues that I think come up from time to time. One, it is an evolutionary approach. We've taken 20 years to do it. Maybe we can help you do it a bit faster in only 10 years. We do have to spend a lot of time in education. It's not just about money. We have to find some experienced and angels and some champions. So I'm looking for some people in the audience to maybe volunteer to be the champion angels. But there are also some policy issues, because as a business angel, I've learnt, as we say, the lemons ripen before the peaches do. So the failures always happen first. And that makes life difficult sometimes for government, because you do a policy and the first 5 or 6 companies that get reported are the ones that haven't actually worked out. And that looks a bit negative. So you need a brave government who's willing to see past that short-term failure and recognise that the fruits of this process and this policy will happen in a few years' time. And the absolute objective is to create a local angel community. And I emphasise the word community. It's people working together. It's not entrepreneurs on one side and investors on another in some kind of confrontational situation. It has to be a relationship where the two sides come together and work with each other over the long term to develop businesses of scale and value that will put employment and wealth back into the country. Thank you very much. I'm now going to invite Peter to come up to the stage and talk about policy experiences and alternatives. And he's based in Germany, and I believe that the Germans are a very insightful country and people who need to be listened to. And I'm not just saying that because it was a German company that had the foresight to buy my original company and give me sufficient and entirely justifiable wealth that I could become a business angel. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I have a strict limit of something like 12 minutes. But please, the main reason why I'm here today, why I enjoy the privilege, is that I want to engage in discussion with you, to engage in mutual learning. So we'll try to make the best out of these few minutes, and then I will be around during lunch this afternoon and look forward to coming back to Astana and Kazakhstan in the future as well. So thank you very much for having me. Thank you for the roses, Chair. You have a small, a very brief commercial in the slides, so I will skip them now and just limit it to saying whatever I say is not based on academic studies. It is based on the experience, the gut feeling I collected during 20 years of serving in my own company as a consultant, and it is based on the 7, 8, 9 years that I collected in my own company serving as a seed capitalist. So you have all the details down. I skip it now. If you have questions, you're welcome to put them in lunch when it is to my specific presentation. Now, we heard quite a lot about tax incentives as one instrument, and you might wonder why a German puts it